Okay, so we're going back to the front yard and I am getting the decorations for the landscaping. I spent so much on rocks, like a ridiculous amount of money on rocks, but I liked it and I think it looked good, so I don't care. Yeah, because yeah, I sort of went round and I outlined all the path with rocks, and it's something I saw. Uh, Again, I've been watching quite a lot of TikTok for build ideas and that sort of thing, and that was another one that I saw with the landscaping. Was sort of lining the little shrunken rocks, so using the bracket keys to shrink rocks and outline the paths with it, using the darker coloured paint underneath the rocks as well. So yeah, I was actually really happy with how that all turned out. I thought it was really pretty. So yeah, very pleased. The landscaping was yeah, landscaping was something I was quite proud of with this build, I've got to say. So yeah, just getting the last of the rocks around and curving around the front here. I just wanted to leave like a little area for like the mailbox, and I was thinking about our sales table and stuff because I want to keep as much of Kingston's stuff that we've been collecting over the course of this challenge as possible, you know, as we're remaking her build, because that kind of makes sense. And yeah, so we've still got her sales table and her street gallery table wall thing. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, and oh, it's just getting the plants all around the pond, and I think that turned out really pretty. I'm going to change the colour of the water just to make it look more like sort of a hot spring, which suits the Oasis Springs kind of vibe, doesn't it? You know, hot springs, Oasis Springs. There you go. And I'm just putting in some garden pots around the front there, and yeah, it should be all accessible. That's me trying to get rid of that little glitch around the front with the curves, but was not successful with that. And it is torrentially raining at the moment, so if you can hear like the rain, apologies for that, but yeah, it is fair pelting down outside in Taranaki today. It's a good day to be inside and playing Sims, I gotta tell you. Yeah, so just decorating the rest of that front little round garden, and I put some greenery in there, so you should be able to just step off the porch and into the garden there and plant some garden plants. Yeah, and I thought about what I wanted in the garden, and really, I mean, it's always a spring, so you've got to have cactuses and your spiky plants, and yeah, nothing too like bushy, and like no bounteous flowers and that sort of thing. So bountiful flowers, bounteous, bountiful flowers. So as you can see, I've changed the color of the water, and I actually had a wee think about the pond, and I wanted to do like just a little seating kind of area, like it's a little dock, because I thought that would be quite neat. I mean, I could have just gone into debug and put like a fishing pond in, but I didn't want to use debug, so I didn't. It's just, yeah, it's just what I wanted to do. I mean, there's enough water around this area anyway, with the river just behind us, so yeah, it's alright. We're a bit past all the frog hunting now anyway, so I don't think we're gonna, or the fishing and stuff. I mean, we can still do it on occasion if we need them, but I don't think we need to do it all the time, because I think we're pretty financially settled now. Yeah, so I'm excited with how that looked, because I did like a little, yeah, the fish fountain as well, and I just made it like, you know, a little cute little nook area where you can sit on a nice summer's evening and admire the water, and hopefully not get bitten alive by mosquitoes or anything like that. So just putting the platform colour on that for the foundation, just getting the foundation around the house as well, because I was thinking about what I wanted to do with the foundation. I was thinking about doing rocks, but I didn't have anything that I felt really suited. I mean, there's probably something there, but I really like that plain sort of deserty, sandy coloured foundation. I think that's quite cool. And looking at the fencing, I used the is a, what's it called? The Oasis kit. Is that what it's called? I've forgotten the name of it. I always call it the Mosaic kit, but it's not the right name. It's not the right name for it. I think it's like, yeah, something like Oasis kit or something like that. I really like that kit. I think it's got some really neat stuff in it, particularly for building in Oasis Springs. So I think it's really handy for that. Anyway, that's the fencing for that kit. So that's what I just put in there. And I'm just getting the garden finished around the side of the house, leading back down towards the greenhouse, which we've just arrived at now. So just getting on all the little bits of greenery and giving the house more life. I mean, I think it's quite green for Oasis Springs, but I think the plants are kind of reasonable also for Oasis Springs. So, you know, I felt okay with the amount of greenery I had. You know, it's all cacti and that sort of thing. So I think that's okay. They can survive in this weather and still look green. And of course, you know, yeah, like your palm trees and stuff. So I reckon that front yard is looking really good, but I went to place the sales table and I was like, yeah, this is not working. And definitely that big tall street gallery thing, I really struggled with how I was going to work that. So I had a wee think about it and decided that I was going to change the front area just a little bit, just to give us a little bit more room for our sales table, which I'm probably at the point where I don't need to even use it that much, but you know, it's one of Kingston's things and I wanted to have space for it. So there you go. Now, on the other hand, the gallery, that's something I'm going to have to trade in and out of the household inventory because it just looked ridiculous around the front of the house. It really did. I just could not make that work. It's too tall and yeah, not so good for right around the front of the house, and it just ruined the whole pretty vibe of our desert garden. So yeah, I made an executive decision that if we needed to sell paintings, that could just come out of household inventory and go back into household inventory when we needed it. So there, that was my decision. So I'm just plumbing the depths of our household inventory now and to see what else we need to pull out and put on the outside. So we've got our dumpster, we have our dew collector, and I think we also have our recycler, don't we? So those are our three things, and obviously we've got our fabricator and our easel around the front at the moment, I think. So just readjusting the garden so we can fit our dumpster in there through the side, make it less visible around from the front of the property, just hiding the ugly old dumpster away, really is what I'm doing. And I made a little space here. I got rid of the garden and yeah, put in our green energy stuff. And I decided that I didn't want the fabricator and the easel around the front because, again, just for aesthetics really, and there was space around the back, so why not put it around the back and have something pretty around the front? And so I went to the Desert Luxe kit, which is, again, another fabulous kit. I love that kit. It's got some really nice furniture in it, so yeah, I used some of it because I like it. And we're moving up to the roof here, and I'm just working out how this is all gonna go. And I had a look at the house next door and what they did with the house. So they used the four corner sort of pyramid style roof, and I just decided to go with that, and just with the ready sort of shade, I went with that as well. I actually really like the red on the beige sort of sandy color outline that we did on the greenhouse, the roof trim. I thought that actually looked really nice, particularly with this build. I thought that was really pretty. So I put a red roof trim on the roof for now, but I do rethink that and change that around a bit later. But for the moment, I'm just working out how the roof is going to go. So just keeping it pretty simple. I'm not going to do any sort of weird angles or anything like that. Just make life difficult for myself. I think Kingston's had a hard enough life with all the things I've put her through without making roofing a trial. Let's make it a nice, easy, beautiful, gentle build. I think Kingston needs a break. and Kelly doesn't know what's going on, so it's fine. She doesn't mind either way. I had a bit of a play around with the front of the house in terms of if I was going to have like a little porch roof or something like that. So I ended up having to change that because I fiddled around with it for ages and I just could not get it to work with that particular roof style. So I just went for extending this larger piece of roof across the front so that there's a little bit of shelter there at the front, and yeah, a bit of a roof going in through to the front door. So it worked out, I think, really nicely. And I was just testing out whether I liked the red with the fencing, but I decided no, that was not the colour I wanted to go for, and that's me changing the roof trim to a sandy colour rather than I did try out dark brown to see whether or not I liked that, but that looked weird, so yeah. And then we're going to work out what colour we want to do the house. So I'm just working on that at the moment. I did look at that sort of that mid brown, but yeah, that didn't quite work, so I went with the lighter sort of sandy beige, and that kind of blends with the landscape, and I think looks really nice in there to match with the other houses in the area. So I was quite happy with that colour, and it gets broken up when we put the windows in as well, because it looks like quite a lot. But yeah, I think it looks better once you get the windows in there. And I'm using once again the mosaic kit, the Oasis whatever it is kit. Oh, me and names, I just never remember them, do I? I'm so bad. Anyway, going with the windows and the doors from that kit, which again are just perfect for an Oasis Springs house. Also probably like a Tartosa one as well. It's got those sort of beachy kind of sandy deserty kind of vibes, so yeah. And I went with the, what are they, the Mega Deluxe windows, I think it's from the Mega range anyway, with the curve at the top, because I think that that suited the rest of the windows. I don't use a square window at all because, you know, as you can see there on the bathroom, I use those clover type ones. Do they have a name? I don't know. I don't know if they do. So we've got the back door there from the living area, going through to the back porch, and the last of the windows just going in now. And I realized that I had a little patch of area down here, and I wanted to put in like a little seating area, and then we needed a barbecue area, of course, because we're still entertaining. I was having a look at different things. I was so tempted by the little camper kit tent, because I just decided to buy that recently, and yeah, it's very cool, but it's too big for that space. It looked silly. So I'm just using the Sims 3 camera to allow me to use the free rotate with holding down Alt and the left mouse button. I love being able to do that. That's handy. It's just kind of annoying having to switch cameras all the time, because I build in the Sims 4 camera. I didn't play Sims 3 really, so I'm only used to building in the Sims 4 camera, and yeah, so that's what I do. So I just switch the Sims 3 camera when I need to rotate something. So we're inside now. I got distracted talking about rotation cameras. So we're inside, and I'm just working on the kitchen. So I went with the snowy escape kitchen counters, because I think they worked with the dark brown of the columns and the spandrels that I put in there. And I ended up going with dark brown finishing because it kind of worked with the windows. Funnily enough, that was what inspired me to go with that colour. And at this point, I'd kind of forgotten about the fact that I had a fridge and an oven in my household inventory that I was supposed to be using. So I do fix that, so don't worry. You just see me putting them in. I will change them later. So I'm just doing again from TikTok, another little trick that I'd learned is that you put a dishwasher in there and you shrink the dishwasher down, and then you put a rubbish bin under there, and you have a functional rubbish bin under the countertop. So I think that's quite neat. I did try a few other things in this build, but it just didn't quite work with this build, so you don't get to see those because I deleted them because they didn't work. I did try this out. I'm not 100% on that I managed to get this to work right or make it look right. But this is shrinking down the machine. Was it Machino? Whatever it is. A room divider, and you shrink it down and put it under the counter, so it's like a counter door. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on that one, but I decided to give it a go and see how it looked anyway. So I'm using, is it the ice cream counters? What's the name of that pack? I always call it the ice cream pack. Once again, I don't remember the name of that pack because I'm excellent like that. But yeah, I actually really love those counters from that stuff pack. I think that's really cool. So I'm just working on changing the entranceway through to the dining area. And yeah, just changing that around. So I put a half wall in, and then I realised I didn't want a half wall there, and then I realised that I needed a spandrel, so I put the half wall back, and then I deleted the half wall again. Anyway, the difficulties of building. So I kind of wanted to do this like quite open, but I wanted to have like a differentiated area for the kitchen. So yeah, I did the breakfast bar on the other side of the kitchen. So I think that looked quite neat. And I just shifting around the space into the dining room. I wanted to make that a little bit more square in the lounge, in the living area, because I felt that was going to make my living area a little bit trickier to build in. And this is me remembering that I had some stuff in my household inventory. Also because I was down to like 5,000 simoleons now, so I haven't got a lot of money left to do much with. But because I've got most of the stuff that we need in the household inventory, that's actually okay, because I just need to put a few bits and pieces in. Like I've got all Kelly's furniture still in there, and I've got Kingston's bed and you know, bits and pieces. So 5,000 is going to be more than enough to build out the rest of the house, just because I don't actually need to buy that much stuff. I mean, you know, it's not going to have all the clutter and all the pretty things that I would like to decorate it with, but that's okay. It's fine. And we're just going to put in our graveyard. Rest in peace, repair people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I killed you. Oh, 3 of them. That's so bad. And I did change the inside of the house to going with shades of blue as the sort of the extra colour that kind of pops throughout the house. And I think that worked quite nicely with the colours in the house and everything. And it still vibes with Kingston's, the blueness in Kingston's outfits and her look. So yeah, I think that having the little bits of blue kind of still worked quite nicely. So we've still got our stereo there. I'm just going through the household inventory now just to work out where things are going to go. So we've got our little dining table, a couple of chairs, and a high chair to go in there as well. So it's not like a super big dining area, but I think that's big enough for a little family. That's for sure. So I'm just going to turn that around and pop that against the wall, because I think that gives us a little bit more space. And as I said, we don't really need to have four full places at the table at this point in time. So yeah, that works okay with the lovely blue mat. And there's my wonderful favourite shower bath from the Growing Together pack, and our functional off-the-grid sink, which we needed for a while, from the Island Living pack. And base game mirror, and we've got our lovely little Growing Together potty down there, our potty set. I'm just changing the colours on that just to suit the colours of the house now. And then moving on to Kingston's room. So I did play around with this for a little while as to whether or not I wanted to fit like a platform kind of under the bed kind of room thing going on, but I just didn't quite have the space to pull it off, and I was like, nah. I think it's just getting too complicated, particularly with Kelly being too young. You know, she's not going to be climbing ladders or anything for a little while, so it just didn't make sense at this stage for her to have like a fancy kind of platforming kind of room. Yeah, so just getting her toys back into her room because she can't be without her toys. And we've got her diaper, obviously her diaper changing table still. She's still in the diapers. Hasn't hit the toddler stage yet and done her body training, but she will be soon, I think. Getting to that age. And just shifting the windows around in Kingston's room. And still having the sort of like the purple, pink and green kind of vibe for her. Because that's her colour scheme. So we're going to stick with that. And I'm just using the ends of the Brilliant Home Decorating Pack couch, which is just so flexible. And then I was trying to work out what to do with this stereo. It took me a while to work that one out, but I decided I'd just put it on the hall table in the front entrance and like be done with it. It kind of hovered over it didn't quite sit right, so yeah, I just had a bit of a play around with that. And then I gave Kingston a TV. Oh my! So she's got a little TV now, and I just built a little home entertainment centre for that. And I think that ended up quite cute. I didn't really have the money to put the clutter in the little sections, but I think that's okay. She can do that as she goes along and gets the rest of her money for her house. I could not, like the shelving, the colours on the shelving just were not working for me, so I played around with that for ages. And then I decided to put in like a little hallway kind of going through to the bedrooms and the bathroom, because I wanted to use those spaces, and creating corners just gave me like a little bit more space to work with, where I just didn't have like a weird just table sitting there. It just made more sense for me to have like a wall going in there and being able to put the computer up against the wall. So that's what I did. And a bookshelf going in there as well. So it's like a little study area, which I think is good. Nice and cute. And just getting some more couches into Kingston's bedroom. And now working out the colours of the walls. So I looked at red and I looked at a bright blue, but ended up decided to go with that real terracotta colour. It just suited the vibe of the house, and it looked really nice with the blue as well, and with the darker coloured furniture. So that's what we went with, and just went with a sort of a mid-brown on the floor, just wooden flooring. And once again, I think they just sort of suited the colours of the house, and it just didn't blend too much with the darker furniture. But kind of worked with it nicely. And so we're going through to Kingston's bedroom and just working out the colours. And I actually ended up going with the Spooky Stuff Pack wallpaper, which I actually really like. I think it's a pretty wallpaper. I use it quite often, so they've got some cool colours in that, with the turquoise wallpaper there. And then on to Kelly's room. And I ended up going with the sort of the cute, is it... I can't remember which pack that's from. Get Together? Not sure. But anyway, the nice sort of peachy pink kind of wallpaper there. And I went with the mosaic wall for the bathroom. And look at that. That's our build. So let's take a wee tour. Ooh. I think it ended up being so pretty with the little pool and... yeah, and the lovely colours of the sandy desert, and I mean we've got a beautiful greenhouse and a little area for Kelly to play when she gets a bit older. Plenty of garden space for Kingston, so she can get out there and garden. She has our little sale table area so that you can still make money, and yeah, this is how we finished up on the inside. So with our living area, going through to our kitchen and dining area there. And then into Kelly's room. It's so sweet. And then the bathroom. So we've got our fancy stuff in there. I think it looks quite nice with the dark browns. And into Kingston's room, which I think is quite lovely. And then our greenhouse. I put all the plants in there, by the way. So all the plants are in there now. And that's our build. So thanks for watching. You can subscribe to the channel. I'm on the gallery, VelvettB. I'm on Pinterest, VelvettB Sims, Twitter, VelvettBYT, and TikTok, VelvettB as well. Thanks for watching. Bye!